Hi, I'm Brett Swarts, founder of Capital Gains Tax Solutions. Hey, the number one thing to focus on in your Bitcoin transaction, Deferred Sales Trust transaction, part 2, and it's getting to know your Deferred Sales Trust team. Now, if you haven't seen part 1 yet, I encourage you to go back. We talked about the number one thing you should be focusing on when selling any cryptocurrency, right? And you're going to consider using the Deferred Sales Trust. In particular, we talked about the motivation and the strategy behind that. So make sure you go back to part 1 before you get to part 2. But part 2 is right now. And it's all about getting to know your Deferred Sales Trust team. And so who is the team, right? And who are all these people that all of a sudden you're selling, very, very highly appreciated assets, and you're looking at what's going to be happening, afterwards, right? But as well as who are the people behind this. And there's really just a couple roles that are associated with this. And I like to use the analogy of the Roman legions, right? Like the warriors, where they had like the shields, and you remember those shields that are, circular, and they had a little carve out for the spear. And all the shoulders would get together, and they put it up, and then they have the spear that comes out, but they all come together, and they're more powerful when they're all together. And that's really the strategy here. And that the Deferred Sales Trust team is typically an extension of your current team, but also some brand new team members to help you go conquer this new battle. Most folks, before they find us, they already have a team of either a luxury realtor or a high-end, a nice CPA, a really good CPA, a financial advisor. They might even have a tax attorney, right? But those specialties don't necessarily correlate to the Deferred Sales Trust team. We like to say we're going to complement your team. There's going to be a couple people that are going to be added on. The first one is the Deferred Sales Trustee, and that's me. That's here at Capital Gains Tax Solutions. We're one of just a few exclusive Deferred Sales Trustees to help you close your Deferred Sales Trust transaction and provide the ongoing trustee management of the trust. And that's our role. By the way, we can't be related to you. We couldn't have previously worked for you, or a cousin or a relative or a close friend. It has to be truly third party. They call it arm's length away from you in order to keep the integrity of the transaction, which is very, very important. It's not unlike, like an IRA that you might have funds at, or a 401k, or even if you worked with a 1031 qualified intermediary, and that you don't own those companies. They're third party, unrelated, so that the funds are not in too much of your control, which can make it a taxable event. Okay, so that's kind of the one of the first parts of the new part of your Deferred Sales Trust team. The second part is the Deferred Sales Trust tax attorney, and I like to call those folks the brain surgeons, right? And those are my business partners who help to form the trust, do all of the legal work, but most importantly, they face the IRS in the past with audits for their clients, and have all had no change audits. And so they actually form the trust. They provide the legal work behind that. They provide the lifetime audit defense should state or federal IRS come knocking, and then you have and the trust has that I call the sleep well at night behind you, having that support for that audit. And so that team. They also will work with your CPA for some general tax questions about how to report it properly on your personal tax return, as well as answer any particular legal questions that might arise on the transaction, which we do invite you to bring in your CPA should they have questions, and we want to make sure you feel really comfortable. That's also part of why we have a no-cost due diligence for you and your Deferred Sales Trust transaction. If you don't use it, you don't pay anything. Okay, so that's with myself. That's with the DST tax attorneys. And the last party typically is the financial advisor. Okay, and the financial advisor and the trustee and the tax attorney, we're all three separate parties, but we all want to work. We all work together as a team to help execute this. Okay, so we're three separate entities, three separate businesses necessarily to make this work. Okay, and they provide the investing policy or investment advice as it pertains to all things stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and like retirement planning and financial planning. And so the goal here is to create kind of an executive team or a dream team to help you execute on your next phase of your investments or your financial plan. And so those are the three main new parties to your Deferred Sales Trust. And so I want to encourage you to get to know us, right, by scheduling a no-cost consultation. If your sale of your asset is like a $1 million net proceeds and $1 million gain, by going to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. If you're not quite there yet, or you're not quite ready for the one-on-one consultation, you can also join our free mastermind. Our free mastermind happens every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. And that's all things kind of like Deferred Sales Trust University, where we have clients on, we have strategic partners, we have financial advisors, we have folks just like you, mostly, who are learning about it for the first time. And they don't want to feel so alone. They want to feel like there's other people that are learning about it with them. And they have a chance to digest this slowly, because it can be very overwhelming if you have a tight time frame to close and you're wanting to execute on this deferred sales trust, to defer the tax. So you can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to register right now. That's capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. Hey, please rate, review, subscribe. Please give this a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please share this with somebody it could help, that it could transform their exit plan by relieving that pressure of feeling trapped by capital gains tax. We so appreciate everyone out there. We also have our podcast too. If you're listening to this here on iTunes, but if you're here on YouTube, you can go to iTunes and search Capital Gains Tax Solutions as well, and look for the part 3 of our series that's coming up, which is all about actually executing and preparing the trust to be able to close on your transaction. That's coming up here shortly. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video, and we look forward to talking to you real soon. Thanks.